more snug.
Yep.
Make sure I can still grab my wheel. Yep. I'm good.
Welcome back to another video, guys. Today, this new episode is called The Bike Sitters, right? I forgot.
That's our name. That's who we are.
Yeah, sorry. Welcome back to another episode of The Bike Sitters. We finally found a name for our episode. I'm here with your famous guests, Caleb and JD. JD has a new outfit, so do you, Uncle Caleb? Anyway, today we will be talking about, in this episode, we'll be talking about tire pressures, clinchers versus tubeless, and what kind of tire widths you should be running. Everything about tires in today's episode. And as you can see, we have another chair, so we have another guest that we have invited over here today. We have Sean. Sean, thank you so much and welcome to the show. Actually, the camera can't really catch you. You gotta come down.
Be careful, huh?
Yeah.
Think of him as like my younger brother, yeah?
Yeah. Alright, this is the Four Stooges, I guess. You can plug yourself in? Yeah. By the way, what's written on your shirt?
It says, be nice to me,
shit.
I'm trash.
Sorry, it's so loud. Okay, cool. Sorry, Sean, please introduce yourself. Everyone knows three of us, but people don't know you.
Hi, I'm Sean and I cycle.
And?
I don't know what you mean to say, man.
How long have you been cycling?
I've been cycling for maybe about, I think coming to a year-ish, I guess.
You got a nice bike, right? SL7?
Yeah.
So you just, you love it?
It's fine.
So you're really like loving the sport and just really...
Yeah, of course. I started on a mountain bike because, back then I was a lot heavier and I started cycling as a way to lose weight. But then after a while I fell in love with it and I decided to change to a road bike. So I changed to a road bike. I think my first road bike was a TCR. And then I slowly upgraded and now I'm on an SL7.
So you're just like us three, because we all started because we want to lose weight, right?
Right.
And so we all have that in common. Yeah, pretty cool.
Okay, thank you. Sean, I forgot to say, you are the only guy amongst the four of us who have not displayed your bike on my interview yet. So we'll get you soon, because initially you got a Cannondale Super 6
Right,
Evo
before I
high mod,
had a
right?
Super 6 Evo 2022.
Oh, so it's not a high mod?
High mod, yes.
Right. And then you got the SL7?
Yeah, because I found a good deal on the SL7 and I decided to sell it and buy the SL7, yeah.
Right. Okay, guys, so let's move on to our topic of conversation today, tire pressures. Before, I know we are going to talk about clinchers, tubeless, and width and tire pressure. So if you guys could answer these four points, what is your tire pressures that you run? Are you running on clinchers or tubeless? And what is the width that you are running? Okay. So let's start with JD first.
All right, cool. Well, I just came prepared. Brought my whole wheel here. So as you can see, I'm actually running tubeless, 25 millimeter. My rim is actually 19 millimeter, which is pretty standard. And as you can see, it's a beautiful Dura-Ace disc. So yeah, and I've started to disc from day one, disc all the way. And but I have run butyl, latex, and then tubeless. So yep.
So what is the tire pressure that you run?
I've been playing around with this for a long time, but 90-95. So 90 at the front, 95 at the back. Yep.
Tubeless, right?
Tubeless, yeah.
What is tire width?
25.
25? Have you tried something wider, or it's just...
Yeah, I've done 28 tubeless, which is more comfort. But 25 is really good. As long as you do the right tire pressure, should be just as comfortable as 28.
And what tires are these that you run on?
Continental. A Continental GP5000 TL.
Okay.
Which is the fourth fastest tire in the world.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. What about you, Caleb? Tire pressure, what tires are you running? Clinchers, tubeless, and what's the width?
Yeah. So I'm currently running Pirelli Race DLR tubeless, 26C at the front, 28C at the back. Despite that, I run the same 95 front and back.
Wow. So both of you are tubeless?
Yes.
And 25?
Yes.
No, 26 at the front.
26, right?
Yeah, because Pirelli has this odd size.
So we differ in width and also our ratio of percentages when it comes to tire pressure. So that's the biggest difference from us.
I think I'm the in our previous episode when we first started filming, we were talking about this, but we decided to scrap this episode. So we are refilming this, and you say I'm very old school. We'll get to that.
Yes.
And my suspect that I'm the only one who is running clinchers. We'll hear from Sean. Sean, what are you running?
I'm also running tubeless.
Oh shit.
We are a brotherhood here. A brotherhood.
Yeah, actually I run different tires from the two of you. I run Shawby Pro ones. Yeah. Only because I wanted to try the Pirellis because of the 26, right? I want to give it a try, but the dealer that I bought from did not have them in 10 wall, and I insisted on having 10 walls. So I got the Strawberry Pro ones, which were available in 10 wall. So I run 25 front, 28 back. Yeah, tire pressure on the front is about 80. I run slightly lower tire pressures because I want to be a little bit more comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I run 80 at the front and roughly about 85 at the back.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm the only odd one out. So maybe I should just tell everyone who's watching. I run clinchers since I've been cycling 10 years ago, and I run 110 psi and 25s. I've tried 26, but I found them way too big.
Yeah, so you can think of Oompa as like bouncing along the road, and we're just.
But I still can catch up with you.
But you know, you may think running a high tire pressure is fast, but really it's not. You know, at a certain point when you keep adding more psi, we'll just add more vibrations to the frame, and it'll slow you down actually. But I do believe it's really heavy dependent on the road surface, right?
Right.
You know, there's a reason why Paris, the Roubaix, right? There's a reason why they ran 28 millimeter tubeless on the cobbles, because if they ran clinchers like you at 120 psi, I'm pretty sure they'll be on the ground now having a little cry.
No, that's why I think was it yesterday that we wanted to ride, and I said, oh, if it's raining, I'm not going to ride because I'll be like skidding all over the place because it's so
hard.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Yeah.
So okay, for my viewers who are not familiar with clinchers and tubeless, could you guys explain what are the main differences? Let's start from that side first.
Okay, so I think the main difference is obviously with clinchers you run a tube in between the tire and the wheel, but then with tubeless you do not run any tubes in between. It's just the tire bead interacting with the surface of the rim, and it just adds sealant and then you just pump it. So I think that's what the main difference, the most obvious difference there is. But I think with tubeless tires you can run lower pressure so that you do not run the risk of having pinch flats with tubes. Yeah, so I think that's one of the main differences and one of the main reasons why people will choose tubeless over clinchers.
Do you prefer? Have you tried clinchers?
I've tried clinchers like way back when I first got my first road bike. It was on clinchers. Yeah, and then after that I just went to tubeless.
Why did you go tubeless?
Because I don't want pinch flats.
But you can still get pinch flats on tubeless, right?
I mean,
No.
No, that's misinformation.
okay,
Okay.
not pinch flats. You still can get a flat on tubeless.
Right, and then
Puncture.
then the sealant
Yeah.
should cover that up.
It depends on the type of puncture you get. I think if you get like really big punctures, then yeah, I mean obviously it will still puncture. But if you get like micro punctures, the sealant will cover it up and then you're good to go.
But let's be real, if we got that kind of puncture, it would affect both tubeless and tubes.
Yes, exactly the point.
All right,
same.
and
Yeah, and with
Yeah.
tubeless, because I'm a bigger guy, I prefer running it a little bit more comfortable. I like to run a bit lower pressure, but because of my weight, I need to run something a little bit higher so that I don't get pinch flats, right? And with tubeless, that just gets rid of the risk of pinch flats, and I can run it lower. I can be a little bit more comfortable on my bike, and I just don't need to worry about getting stuck in the middle of TMCR sometimes.
all right. So you've really talked about all the reasons why you love tubeless.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so Kayla, what about you?
Okay, so for me, I've tried clincher before. I used to run gator skin. So since my first pinch flat, I said, F it. I will go tubeless.
Beep.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't cut in my show.
Sorry.
No, you can, but because there'll be much more work for me.
Can, but
yeah.
I need to bleep it out.
Okay.
Can, but we
Sorry,
lose
sorry.
half
So
the audio.
how much do you hate him? How much do you hate him?
Huh?
How much do you hate him? Do you want to give him
No,
more work to do?
no. I don't hate anybody.
No, Caleb,
yeah.
we're like a family here, okay?
Yeah.
It's a family show.
It's PG-13.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, after my first, it's not a pinch flat. Actually, it's like a staple wire puncture. Then I don't know. I forgot to because when you change the inner tube, right, you have to also check the tire, inside the tire, if there's any like shrapnel or what. I failed to check, so I put in a new tube, then flat again.
Oh.
So I said, I'll try tubeless. Then, so far I've been using it for over like almost 2 years. I've experienced only one puncture. It's a 1-inch thorn in ECP, PCN. That's why I never go PCN.
And again, if you're on tubes, you would have got probably same thing,
Same.
right?
But
Yeah.
the thing with tubeless is that they say that if you get puncture, you cannot use it anymore. You change to a new tire. But technically, you can still go home, provided that you bring with you an inner tube. You can still use an inner tube with a tubeless tire.
Can you put? Oh, you still can run a tube in a
Yes, you
tubeless
just
tire.
have to remove the valve, then you put in the inner tube.
So,
Yeah.
Sorry, do you have any more Red Bull?
yeah, I do, but it's a bit of a reach. reach over there.
Okay, never mind. It's very bare here.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
just put this here then. Don't like to make any difference.
Like a
Okay.
condom.
Kids watching my show, man.
Oh, sorry.
Man, Caleb, he's not even, you know,
No, I think he's pretty tired because he did an RTI today, right?
yeah,
He's-
the sun
he's
hit him,
out
man.
of form today.
The sun has hit his head, man.
Yeah. Okay, JD, your thoughts?
All right, so the main reason why, why I went tubeless is one, I honestly don't know how to change a tire. So tubes, there's running tubeless automatically is a lower risk of getting a pinch, or there's no pinch flat,
Why
right?
should you learn how to change a tire?
Please don't put, let's not discriminate me. Okay.
You're right and expensive, but you don't know how to change a tire.
And another thing is I'm really about performance. Okay, now if you look at rollingresistance.com, you'll find out that all the tubeless tires are the best performing when it comes to rolling resistance. So my GP5000 TL is the 4th fastest tire in the world.
By the way, is everyone on the Pro Peloton running tubeless, or are there people running
Not
clinchers?
all, not all. But
Not all, but especially
majority,
if you go to the Roubaix with his cobbles, trust me, they're running
but majority
tubeless.
are in tubeless now.
Yeah,
Right? Okay. Wow, so I'm really the ancient guy then.
you can think of Oompa as like a bouncy castle,
Boing,
and us
boing.
three are just cruising on the highway.
And one experience I like to share is that this one is not placebo or anything.
No, that would
Like him, not placebo. This one is real. I went from my gator skin to a GP5000 TL, right? The rolling resistance, really, you can feel it. It's really faster. Even because I was using a gator skin, same 28C. I always use a bigger size. 28C clinchers versus a 28C tubeless. Tubeless is really fast. Really fast. Regardless of what pressure you run. But of course, you cannot run beyond the maximum PSI.
So what is the benefit of running a tubeless besides the fact that you can run low pressures?
Well, it's very easy. It's critical if you want low rolling resistance. Tire pressure is critical.
By the way, it's
Right.
pouring. Are you getting wet? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying this right now. Let's be real. Tire pressure is critical for low rolling resistance, plus comfort.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
especially if you're a heavier rider.
Yeah.
That contact patch really plays a big role, and of course the road surface, right? So if you ride on, Singapore, we have quite nice roads here. I think tubeless is beautiful, just perfect. Where tubes, running 120 psi, again, I keep bringing up this bouncing effect, but truly, he's definitely bouncing along the road. And while tubeless, less hassle. Every 3 months, you take it to your mechanic, he'll redo the whole thing. It's just, for me, it's the way to go. And I've done both. I've done tubes, I've done tubeless. Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I run clinchers, which we did mention in the previous episode that was no longer in my records. The first one being that I like to swap my tires around the front and the rear because rear tires always tend to wear out faster than the front. So I like to swap them out. I find it much more easier than tubeless. I have not tried tubeless as a disclaimer. Secondly, tubes are cheap, right? You get a flat, you change it. I know it's a hassle, like you have to ask everyone, okay guys, so sorry that I have a flat, so stop for me and I got to swap out the tubes. And the price of the tires are cheaper. Okay, how much do you guys pay for tubeless tires? Let's talk about like a GB5000.
All right.
It ranges up to 88 to 90. Now it's really high, 90 plus to 100.
Oh, that's not too bad.
I pay for my complete setup like 200, but don't bring up this whole tube thing cheap. Okay, that's adding so much damn friction in the tire. Okay, it's like you're lowering your performance by at least 5 watts.
I'll just buy an OSP.
No. He's talking about economical wise.
Yeah, I
not
know.
Performance
I
wise.
know. For me, I'm not all. As you know, you're practical. I don't care about money, right? So I'm always about running the fastest setup. And trust me, clinches are slower. Tubeless is faster because taking that tube out takes away all that friction. Okay, that's why latex is so popular now with clinches because of the elasticity properties of it. Because it's about that decompression and compression, which is loss of energy. Okay.
I'm not going to fight you guys because first of all, I'm at the losing end. There are 3 of you.
No. Actually,
No.
you make sense in a way. Like you said that you like to swap out the rear to the front so that you can have an even wear on the
because
tire.
I'm broke lah. I spent all my money on my bike, so I don't have money for tires.
because for tubeless, technically you can still do it, but you have to have a floor pump with a canister to sit the tire into the wheel.
Yeah. At one point, what JD was telling me that tubeless, when you go home, the way you set your tires have to be in the proper direction.
I learned my lesson from the first time I did tubeless. Never put the valve at the bottom because all the sealant will run down to the valve and it'll clog.
Yeah.
So I always put the valve at the top, so that was a big issue because if it clogs.
So it happened to you, it clogged.
It happened one time, but
Never happened.
But how do you know it clogs?
well, when you undo the valve, right, no air will come out.
Oh, okay.
So you have to unclog it.
Do you guys know about this?
I've heard of it, but I don't really.
Never happened to me.
Never happened to me. Okay, one thing I did realize that if I leave my valve at the bottom, sometimes when I go to pump it at the start or the right, if I press it, like sometimes some sealant will just.
So I got good
Yeah.
advice is that you should not push it at the bottom because the sealant will spray out.
Right,
You
so-
should always go to the top and let the sealant roll down.
Yeah.
But wait, Oompa, can I ask you a question? The tire pressure you run, do you do a 50-50 ratio or 60-40?
50-50.
See, that's the problem.
Why?
It's about your weight distribution on the bike.
I'm damn light.
He's not getting the point. He's not getting the point. When you're on your road bike, it's not 50-50 your weight. 60% of it's on the back and 40% on the front. Actually, by adding more PSI at the front, you're just going to be increasing the bouncing effect.
So what are you suggesting? So
60-40%, that's it.
So 60 at the front, at the rear.
Rear.
Wow.
Yeah, rear.
I'm getting he's the new Caleb now. Caleb and I are good friends now. Okay, especially when it comes to tire pressure, it's very sensitive.
Yeah, sensitive to me because, like you say, I'm old school. It's hard to change and teach a dog new
man.
tricks, right?
Yeah. It's not about dogs, okay? Talking about cats.
You have
All right.
popcorn.
But I know my stuff, okay? Look at this thing, man. I bought my wheel here, okay? This is tubeless. I run 90 PSI at the front here. Beautiful. Because only 40% of my weight's at the front.
Okay, can I move on? Because
Sure.
I want to dodge all the questions. To my guys who are watching, who are still new to cycling, what is the optimum tire pressure? How do you determine that? Let's start with JD. We go this way.
Easy. One, I use a calculator, which gives you a good rough estimate. And then second, our favorite word, feel. How does it feel, you know? You can sort of feel it if you're just bouncing along. I don't know how you don't feel that, but... so yeah, calculators and feel.
When you talk about calculators, what kind of calculators? Is that like a website or
yeah,
what?
online, you know. There's SRAM calculators, there's all sorts of calculators, and they do a pretty good job. And it's not just about the weight of the bike, but it's just, there's a lot of different properties that go into it.
So you use the calculator for yourself,
Yeah,
or was it
and-
you?
Actually, I just did by feel first, and then I went on the calculator, and guess what? It was exactly what I had thought it was.
Yeah.
So I was bang on the money.
Right. What about you, Caleb? Do you use a calculator or by feel?
I used to go online also. You have to just enter your weight, then what tire size you're using, tubeless. But sometimes the calculations are really off because I'm heavy, right? Then the calculator said, "Oh, run 870 psi." So 70 psi.
So do you run 70 PSI?
No.
PSI? No.
No.
So you just use the calculator as a starting point.
That's a starting point. Then it depends on the tire actually. So different tire manufacturers recommend certain pressures. Different, like for Continental is different. Like what I'm using now, Pirelli, they have a different recommendation. So I just meet in the middle. So, and of course, you have to feel it also. When you pump it, let's say I do 95, right? I feel it. Is it too hard or is it the right, the right feel?
Just like your nipples, right?
My nipples are sensitive right now. It's raining, so
Quite
okay.
cold, right? Very cold.
Yeah.
If you're getting wet, tell me.
Oh, no.
Are you wet? Are you wet?
He's all
No?
good. He's all
Not yet.
good.
Okay,
He's
okay.
fine. But do remember on the tire where they print the PSI recommendation.
Yeah,
remember,
they usually,
they play it safe. So that would normally be the
Yeah.
heaviest rider. So normally you do lower because they have to make sure that the customers don't put too little pressure in there or too high.
And you have to consider the max PSI because different manufacturers have different maximum PSI.
Zach, I don't know why, but Oompa went straight to the max.
Yeah, I went straight to the back. Okay, I have to admit, when I went up to 120 PSI, I had a couple of punctures. But I love the ride feel, like so smooth. Like you guys mentioned, because Singapore is so flat, it's so nice, right? It's like riding on smooth surfaces.
Yeah, but as you said, high pressure, you may feel like you're going fast, but you're not.
Probably.
Because at a certain point, when you keep adding more PSI, you're actually just increasing the vibrations on your bike, and it slows you down.
I'm not going to
It's a
object.
fact.
I'm not going to object because most of you, not only here, but I think majority of our friends are on tubeless. I'm probably just the only last one out there on
He's
clinchers.
keeping the tradition alive. All right.
And I'm going to get a rim brake bike. I'm going back 10 years
You know,
back.
this is the new Durian rider right here. All right.
Durian Rider, I love you, by the way. Subscribe to my channel.
He's a great. I started watching him
Yeah.
before you,
Yeah.
and he's awesome too.
I love Durian. Sorry, let's go back to Sean. We missed out Sean. Sean, what about you?
Okay, so like what Caleb said, I think different tire manufacturers have their own different recommended PSI for your weight. I've tried a lot of different manufacturers. So what I normally do is I'll go to their website and I'll see what's their recommended tire pressure for my weight. I'll try that recommended tire pressure first, and then I'll adjust accordingly. So sometimes I'll just minus 10 plus 10. That's what I usually do. So normally I usually minus 10 of that, then plus 10 of that, and see how it feels. Just go for a short ride around the block to just get a feel of it. And then from there, it's all about feel. Cause you know, if you don't like the feel of the ride, then there's no point in running a higher tire pressure.
Right. Have you had any incidences with Tubeless and sealant and stuff like that?
Honestly, no, not yet.
Do you guys have to top up the
Yeah,
sealant?
sank every 3 months. But honestly, I've had no spillages. Okay, I've actually never had a puncture on tubeless. I've had 3 with tubes.
But with tubeless tires, there's still the maintenance aspect because the sealant do dry up sometimes.
Correct.
So which is the 3-month thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so you gotta
April
bring
I'll
it
be
in.
going to
Right.
redo. But let's all remember, let's just be honest. Here's the motto. I'd rather have a little bit too little PSI rather than too much.
Right.
Think of it as like your saddle height. Okay, it's better to be a little too low than too high because everything goes out the window after
I think
that.
it's more like what you mentioned. I think it's more about momentum of the wheel, right? So when you're going down the road, and if there's like small rocks on the ground, and if your tire pressure is too high, you just bounce.
And also, Oompa, you may think the roads are so nice, but when you zoom in on that TMCR, there are lots of little
rocks.
bumps. Okay.
It's okay, man. I feel good. I feel fast.
He doesn't feel anything. He just
goes over there.
It's like this, like a wave. Like a wave.
Yeah. So I think when you get that little, so when your tire pressure is too high, it just interrupts the momentum, just goes up and down, and
I
it
think-
just gets the vibration, right?
I think not only the bouncy one, right? I think it's the road contact of the tire.
Yeah.
So if lower pressure means more contact on the tarmac,
Yeah.
so more grip, everything.
Well, it's the deformation of the
yeah,
contact.
so,
edge.
yeah.
so entails it's faster.
Because I'm so used to running 110 or 120 PSI. The other day when I was filming one guy's bike and I was trying out his bike, it was so sticky to the ground, and I asked him, is your tire flat? He said, no, I'm running tubeless and it's like 80 PSI. I was like, shit. It felt very different for me
Oh,
because...
but honestly, I ran 110 psi just for fun. I got a flat, pinch flat straight away, and then I knew that something's wrong with this whole logic. Really?
But I heard a story just after my RTI, during my RTI, that our friend Darren, right, he told me that one of his friends, 2 ran tubeless, exploded during Odex.
What do you mean, like he was riding this bomb?
Just exploded, the tire just
Okay.
spewed all over, sealant, everything.
Was it
no
like probably a
puncture,
hook?
no anything.
What, do you know what tire was it? Was it for the
I
zip?
Hookless,
didn't- I
hookless
didn't-
or what?
I didn't ask, but I assumed that he ran too much PSI.
Could be hookless rims.
Yeah. So the thing, see, if you run too high psi, especially with hookless, it has a tendency to blow off the rim like a missile. So overall, as you can probably tell, too high PSI is nothing but bad news. Okay, and tubeless is faster. It's
really
better.
faster.
You know,
You
the
can feel
maintenance
it.
to me so far, I've had no issues.
Maybe I'm going to try tubeless so that I can...
Yeah,
actually-
then
Please
you
do.
should try. Then you should try the 28, not the 25. You should
Okay,
try
yeah.
the
So let's
28.
move on to
Yeah.
to tire width. Before we move there, just one more last thing for me. It's you guys said no bad experiences, right, with
Yeah,
tubeless?
nothing.
To be honest, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to tire widths. We're already 30 minutes in. Tire width. You said you're running 25.
Yeah, so I recommend nothing, minimum 25 millimeter. But if you're a little heavier or you want a little bit more comfort, I would say 28. That's all you need. Actually, my Madone frame is a maximum of 28. But I did 28, as you know, on tubeless, and it was okay. It was very comfortable, but I want to go faster because it's most rims now are designed to a certain standard of ERTRO, which is about 19 millimeters.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What's ERTRO?
So it's just a standard. So this is 19 millimeters. Now it's really important when it comes to a tire that it doesn't balloon out. Okay, so if you do 28, it's going to be a bit thicker than the rim.
Yeah.
So I'm more about aero. So 25 is just nice for the profile. So it's maximum aerodynamics. But it also, I feel just as comfortable this tubeless than 28.
And I think it's also the rim. Usually they'll tell you what is the recommended tire width, right? Not all tires.
Not recommended.
Not all wheels
It's
can go.
optimized.
Yeah,
Optimized,
Yeah, they'll tell you which, like when you buy the wheel, they'll tell you which tire thickness, the depth is optimized for that wheel.
For
itself.
aero.
Yeah,
And just
for aero.
remember, some wheels now are a bit wider, right?
Yeah.
And just note that the optimization for that the PSI even would be much lower actually.
Like for hookless, right? It's a 23 millimeter inner width.
You know what? I just think hookless tires are just the most ridiculous thing ever. I don't know why people. Sorry. So that's JD. Anything else before I move on to Caleb?
And just note that 23 millimeter, don't run 23s because that such a little tire might not be enough to absorb all the road impacts.
I don't even think anyone runs 23 now. Like most people are 25.
He's old school. You never know, man.
I tried 25 and 28.
He might be running a 2006 Trek Madone.
Yeah, speaking of old school, right? You know,
Yeah.
25 and 28s are very recent. I would say probably in the last 3 years. People used to be running 21s, 22s.
Even 19.
19, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm so happy. But just let me know. I think the industry how it's going to wider rims doesn't need to happen. I think we should stick to 19 millimeter, stick to 25 millimeter tires, keep it nice and uniform. Perfect.
No, so running 19 and 20 millimeters, can you still run low PSI then?
Yeah,
Usually thinner ones, people go up higher,
Okay,
right?
the thing is, like, of course, if you increase the width of the rim, the same tire may have to be run at lower pressures to be optimized. But 19 millimeters, the ERTRO standard, which most new tires are designed for. So I keep within the standards, and 25 millimeter, as I said, I've had no issues on TMCR.
Right.
I feel comfortable and fast,
Yeah.
as you can tell.
Right. Caleb, what about you? You're running 26?
26 at the front, 28 at the back.
What's the reason for this odd?
The reason is they only got 128C back then.
Oh, so if they had 26, you run both 26?
I have a reserve 28C, two.
So you'll take
one
28.
one pair I have at home,
So-
just in case.
Right. Do you like the 28s or you prefer thinner ones?
I'm using 28s ever since. So I started from 25C, but that was my stock tire on my first road bike. Wow, I ran 110. My butt is cursing me all the way.
You should have gotten the Asus Power Mirror back then.
Oh my god, non-existent back then. No money. So yeah, I mean for like, okay, the standard right now I think it's the inner width is 19 and 23. So 23 is for hookless. So for hookless, right? If you have the minimum width, the minimum size of tire you can use is 28. You cannot use lower than 28.
Yeah.
Then you can only run a maximum of 75 psi for
So
hookless.
Oompa's not buying that rim, is he? He's not
I
buying
mean,
that.
the perception is that the lower the PSI looks like flat or anything, right? But I think hookless, they put a maximum PSI for a reason. I think don't like, what do I say? No, don't negate or don't like disregard hookless for now. I think it will be the future.
Why?
I think
Wait.
because you see, for road cycling, right? Everything is trickled down from mountain bike technology. Everything.
Hookless included?
So
Are we fishing?
it's going wider.
No, but I have to disagree, Carol. Like hookless, right? What's the whole benefit of hookless? Because right now there's very limited tires that
Yeah,
can
I
run
have to
hookless.
agree with him, unfortunately.
And
I'm
like,
sorry.
as you
Yes,
said,
you're
yeah.
correct. It's limited tires, but I think they're making more like the Pirelli 28C is hookless compatible. The STR GP5000 STR is hookless compatible.
But what's the benefit of
But tell me,
hookless,
what's the big difference between? I mean, I know the difference physically, but why do we want to go to hookless rather than just keep to the nice beam?
Actually, I don't know.
Caleb,
For the sake of
I think
conversation.
I won one for once. I think I won.
Maybe you should get a hookless, then you can tell us.
Yeah, because
money, no
honestly,
money.
I don't even consider hookless at the moment because
But zips the whole entire lineup, I think. On
Zip.
The Firecrest, the Firecrest.
don't
not all
stop
of
me
it.
on
No, no,
Zip.
no.
I
man.
think the 303S and the 404, the new one, is all hookless also.
Right.
Even the 303S.
Yeah, I
is
think that
hookless?
the newer ones are all hookless.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so if Oompa had hookless, he'd run 120 psi. The whole tire would blow off, and he'd be calling JD for some help. Okay, he'd be like, "Yo, JD."
No, he will not call you. You don't have to change a tire.
I don't even have
Don't
my-
worry.
Oh,
Don't worry. Don't worry. He will not call you.
Remember, I don't have a phone, so how can he?
No, you don't. You don't.
No, I'll
you
call
said
you.
it. You don't know how to change a tire, right?
Yo, I'm like, yo, Oompa.
I'll just call you a grab.
Yeah, I'm like, Oompa, I'm here. Here's a drink.
A Red Bull. You bring a Red Bull.
Of
Yeah.
course, you know, here's the lube. Here's the latex tube.
I was like, what's the lube and latex for, man? Of all things, you
Useless.
suggested everything. No, the funny thing is he suggested everything except tire levers.
I don't. What's that?
And the pump. No pump.
And the pump.
Tire, is that what you use in the toilet? I don't know.
my
What is it?
God.
I've never seen a tire lever in my life. All
You
right.
suggested everything except the essentials to change a tire, which is a tire lever, a pump, and a tube. Oh, you did mention
That's
the tube.
why I'm tubeless, because I don't have to worry about all these things. Too
Okay.
complicated.
Let's move on. Last one from Sean. Then we end it here.
Okay, fun fact, I did own a pair of hookless tire rims before. I had the NV Foundation 45. I sold that off together with my previous
Oh,
bike.
that's hookless.
Yeah, that's hookless.
I wanted to buy NV Foundation 45, but
Yeah.
because it was hookless.
But because it was hookless,
Yeah,
right?
I
Okay,
did.
I got them because they're quite I found them cheap, but it is a pain in the ass to find tires for them.
So what were you running?
I was running, when I first got them, they were running Vittora Corsas, the super grippy ones. I can't remember what those are called. The controls, yeah. But those had
the ones
super
thin
high,
one.
super high rolling resistance, very plush feeling, super
But
comfortable. But
Puncture resistant is.
yeah, but so that got a puncture and I had to change it out. I went to the Schwabe again, the Schwabe Pro ones, because those were available for hookless, and those were fine, I guess.
The
Yeah.
TT or the.
The normal one. Yeah.
So let's be real. I'm running the fourth fastest tire, which is GP5000 TL, because I'm all about performance.
Yeah.
I think hookless will become popular when Continental comes into
The
play.
new one is
Ah,
available.
STR.
For, yeah, the STR.
It's
But
hookless.
guess what? The STR is slower than the TL.
Really?
Yep. If you look at the website right now, it's like bicycle rolling resistance, whatever. I'm all about performance. I can't believe I would never downgrade my tire like that. Okay. Never.
Right. Guys, I think that's it. 32 minutes, a bit too long. We have a couple more. I hope you're going to be fighting, because I think people want to see you guys fight rather than you're agreeing too much
You know
on
what?
this.
We're becoming more professional. We're hoping to get more sponsors.
That's the drink. There's no
All
drink
right.
here today.
You know, it's a fact. We're not just doing podcasts, but Donald Trump's doing podcasts now. We're all doing podcasts. So it's great to be here. Really nice to see Caleb again, and our new guest Sean. Really beautiful guy.
Yeah,
Thank
Sean.
you.
Sean will be in the next 3 episodes. So stay tuned if you guys want to see what's next. So yeah, great episode, guys. Handshake, anybody?
Hey, Caleb, come on, man. You know the deal.
Yeah, handshake,
deal.
handshake.
Go.
All right, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.